quieter month in terms of what is in progress right now, but in the full swing of the basketball season. We'll have a preview of the track season coming up a little bit later on as well. But we start out joined by Amanda Johnson, Anna Schmitt from the women's basketball team. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
And Amanda, coming off the two games last weekend, we're playing Wayne State, Augustana for the second time this year on the road. Just kind of what was your biggest takeaway from those two games?
You know, it is tough playing them on the road as well. Those are two great programs. I mean, Augustana girls are unbelievable this year. The main thing that we kind of wanted to do after playing the second time was just get better from the first time around. But it's just been, a little bit tough with certain injuries. I mean, Anna's kind of trying to get fully back after her ankle. But I just kind of tell the girls that we just want to improve and get better. It was a rough weekend. I thought that we could have beat Wayne. It didn't, end in our favor. But the main thing is get ready for Minot Mary this weekend. The beauty of it is conference, keeps going. We still have a lot of conference games left. So with practice this week, we're just changing up a couple things, getting ready for Mary Minot. Again, we're on the road, but I just want our girls to come focused and ready to go because these road games are tough. But I think moving forward, the girls are hopefully improving and getting better so we can finish off the conference strong.
Where are some areas where you kind of see that the team is growing and making progress? You've mentioned you're working in some of the younger players, battling through some of the injuries.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's it. I think with the team compared to last year, we did lose a couple seniors, and we just have our younger kids that we need to throw in the mix. Sometimes they're going to have to step up and get some minutes, and sometimes they won't see the floor. I think that's the biggest thing is getting them ready to go, especially with Anna's ankle. We had to get Shab ready to go a little bit as a point guard role. But then, even like Bree Miller as a sophomore this year, she started off the year pretty slow, and now she's scoring, kind of in a scoring machine lately, and just having other players start stepping up, and that's really what we want to see with this young team and pretty much bringing back a lot of the girls next year besides Hayden and Kayla.
For Brianna, has that been a matter of just kind of a little more aggressiveness going to the basket?
Yeah, I think beginning of the year she didn't have her confidence. She was missing some layups, and just moving forward, we just told her, hey, we want you to keep going to the basket. We want you to keep doing it. We're not going to tell you not to. And then it just kind of clicked for her. And then the last couple of games, she just has her confidence, and she's been doing exactly what we want her to do and in practice, and it's just been showing in the game.
You've been using her a little more as kind of that second big, scoring out of the post some, and she's going to be giving up some height in a lot of matchups playing down there. But what's kind of the key to being able to finish inside and score when you are a little bit shorter?
The one thing about Bree is she is strong, and believe it or not, when she stands out on the floor, I would never guess that she's the same height as some of the other guards. She just knows how to use her body inside. She's a great back to the basket post player, and on defense, she's really physical. So when she does go against a post player, she knows how to get around. She knows how to push. And, we just love her inside. That's one thing that we did change. We had her out a little bit more, but now we like her right now with our lineup to be inside. A little bit of small ball look, so for our offense, too, it spreads the floor. And I think she has just been doing a great job battling the post.
And Anna, for you got off to such a fast start this year, kind of before the injury especially, but multiple 20-point games, the 30-point game. What do you think was kind of the key to getting off to such a fast start this year?
Well, I knew that as a junior I had to step up in a lot of different ways, besides scoring, just being like a leader and trying to take everybody under my wing and kind of just take over the team, I guess. And like Banky said before, that a lot of girls have finally stepped up and figured out their role, and that's just helped our team immensely.
And are you starting to feel better getting back into a routine coming back from the injury?
Yeah, it's been up and down, but I'm hoping this weekend will be the final that I'm good and ready to be back. So
one thing you've really been able to do, you've been a scorer since the time you've been here, but your 3-point percentage continuing to go up, free throw percentage. What's kind of your shooting routine? What do you find works for you in terms of gradually improving that shooting so much?
Well, at the end of each year since I've been here, it's been a goal to increase both of those percentages, and I did this year. A lot of it is just being smarter with my shot selection and knowing when it's a good shot, when it's not. And I think that's just kind of helped me out instead of just throwing up stuff whenever. So, I guess I'm confident with shooting, so I just take a shot when I get it and keep working on them.
You find it's more helpful, just kind of a repetition thing? You just keep shooting, try to put up a certain number per day? Is it sort of a video thing where you study mechanics, combination of that?
Confidence.
It's
She's
confidence.
confidence.
Yeah. I'm pretty much that. That's about it.
Yeah. What have you mentioned working in a lot of freshmen? You had Kira, one of the seniors, go down with an injury early on in the year. What has it kind of been like for you to expand the leadership role and really try to help some of those freshmen this year?
Well, I've been there as a freshman, trying to wiggle my way into the routine of everything. So I think just getting all the freshmen confident and comfortable with playing with whoever has really helped us. And like Banky said, we just want to get better. And I think since the beginning of the year, we have gotten a lot better with like playing each other and playing with each other and just flow and kind of understanding who does what not to do, and kind of stuff like that. So.
Amanda, for you, what's kind of the biggest thing you'd like to see from the team over these next few games that would give you a sense that you're getting things on the right track here down the stretch?
Confidence. I think with the last couple of tough weekends, they've lost their confidence, and I just tell the girls I want their confidence back. I think that's huge, especially coming into Mary and Minot, which are great teams, but I believe that we should beat them, especially, with the last couple of conference games that didn't work out in our favor. But the biggest thing is just confidence, play together. I think once, Anna gets going, her leadership, everyone else can kind of take a deep breath because she is our scorer, and then everyone can kind of, do their roles. But the biggest thing is confidence and believe in each other.
All right. Well, thank you both very much for being here. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Amanda Johnson and Anna Schmitt here on Golden Bear Insider. And again, Concordia on the road again this weekend with that long trip to Mary and Minot, but a stretch of 5 consecutive home games after that, so we will have that opportunity, a number of the webcasts for the games coming up with that 5-game homestand. Of course, we'll have all the home games available here through cspbears.com for both the men and the women, so we'll have those doubleheaders coming up. But we are going to be joined now by Joey James and Ahmad Newsome from the men's basketball team, also headed out to North Dakota, of course, this weekend before the homestand. But joined by Joey and Ahmad now, and thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Joey, just start with you. I guess both the games last weekend against Wayne State and Augustana did come up short in both of those. And I know we've kind of talked about trying to get that effort from the team out of the full 40 minutes. It looked like in both of those games, pretty competitive for one of the halves, struggled a little bit in the other one. And in both, I guess, what was kind of the difference you saw for the team in those two halves?
Down at Wayne in the first half, I just thought we did a really poor job of executing just our offense, and I think the guys are playing hard. I just don't think that when we get on the offensive end, I don't think we're moving the ball like we need to. I think we're just over-dribbling it right now big time. We're not playing to our advantages and our skill level and stuff like that. So made some adjustments in the second half because they switch everything 1 through 5. And the second half we come out and we outscore them. But I felt like we were trading baskets in that game way too much. So then now all of a sudden when your offense is going but your defense ain't sit there locked in, now you can't trade baskets with teams like that. And so we went on our run. We cut it to 6, I believe, with plenty of time to go, and then they hit a couple big shots. We had a couple miscues on defense. And then we go into Saturday, and I thought we got off to a pretty solid start. We weren't terrific offensively. I thought we were moving the ball better against Augustana. They had to end up switching and going zone. But it was a 1-point game at the half. And I tell you, the whole week leading up to that game, I told our guys, because we know how explosive they can be offensively. I believe they lead our league in scoring right now. And so I think they're one of the best offensive, if not the best offensive transition team in the league, off makes or misses. And so every time out, every opportunity we got to talk to these guys, it was transition. And that game in the second half, you go back and look at it, I believe they had 17 points just off transition. And you end up losing the game by 16, but, the score, we were in single digits for most of that, back and forth, and then they opened it back up again. I thought offensively, I told these guys that our guard play's got to be much better. I thought our bigs played terrific on Saturday against Wayne, but if you go and look at statistically, our 4 guards that we play all the minutes really struggled from the field and from the 3-point line that night. And so we just got to have better production out of those guys. And they had great looks. And, I'm just continuing to keep their confidence up, keep it rolling, strike again this Friday and Saturday, and just have better performance levels.
And prior to those losses, did have the game against Moorhead where you played well, especially down the stretch, got it done without Brendan Matthews. What did you kind of see from the team in that game that, could carry over here down the stretch?
21 assists. I thought we did a terrific job of sharing the basketball. Defensively, we were locked in. We held them to 62 points. I thought they got a couple there late where we could have probably held them in the 50s. I thought the second half of that game we came out and Avon Ward played a pretty good game. I thought he was on a pretty good streak there, but we got the ball inside. We scored easy baskets. But when you have 21 assists, there's a lot of times that you're going to win a lot of basketball games as long as your defense is locked in. And that night we were, and I thought our guys played pretty good in that game. But we could have still played better. I think they know that. But at least we got the so-called monkey off our back in that one, and I was hoping we were bounced back that last weekend. But these guys are improving. I told them today in practice that we have improved since Christmas break. We're just not seeing the results in games yet, but we're starting to close that gap a little bit more. And so as long as we continue to do that, I think the signs will start going a different way, and I think we'll start pushing for some wins here, I hope.
And Ahmad, for you, the team is working in quite a few new players this year. You've had people in and out of the lineup due to some injuries. You're running the show out there quite a bit as the point guard. What's sort of been the challenge for the team to sort of find that chemistry with some of the different combinations out there on the floor?
Like you said, the injuries kind of hurt. Not having guys all week in practice, you just kind of have to adjust to that. But I think we've done a good job of working well together. We just got to, like you said, keep moving the ball, keep finding each other, keep playing off each other. And if we can do that, then we'll be fine.
You're just kind of looking at your numbers from last year to this year. Your shot attempts are down a little bit, but your percentages have gone way up. Is that something you kind of worked on to maybe work on your shot selection a little bit and find some more of those efficient shots?
Yeah, like we were just joking around earlier. My three-point attempts are down, and I think it's just taking smarter shots and finding little holes in the defense where I can score. And when I'm not scoring, I just have to get other guys shots, whether it's screening or passing the ball, doing whatever I can do to get other guys shots. So definitely finding better shots.
You guys have been pretty competitive in the home conference games this year. It obviously picked up that win over Minnesota State Moorhead. You've had a lot of road games here recently, including this weekend, 5-game homestand after that. How much will that kind of help the team to get into a little bit of a rhythm here where you can start playing at home?
I think it'll help big time. It's always easier to play at home. You got to embrace the road games. They're tough, but just tougher team wins. So this weekend we just got to be the tougher team, and then hopefully that carries over into the next 5 home games.
Joey, for you, you mentioned, you see the team closing the gap a little bit. What are some of the specific areas you're really seeing where the progress is coming?
It's just, I always tell these guys, I don't want to overcoach you, and I feel like I'm doing that a ton, and that's because this team needs to be more coached, a little bit more disciplined, and I just think that that's where they lack is the focus and discipline. I think they're doing a better job of that in practice, but a lot of teams start getting down when you start losing some games, and then your practices aren't as intense. I'm telling you, this week was probably 2 of our 3 practices this week was super intense, and I like it. It shows that these guys still have fight in them. They're going to continue to work. We got some competitive guys. They don't like to lose. We got a lot of great dudes on this team, and we got the right guys here. I told them today, I go, this is a result-driven society that we live in. And so these guys want to see results no different than everybody else, and I'm telling you, the results are starting to show and reflect in practice ever since Christmas break. So I always felt like ever since we've been here, we've always been a better second semester team for whatever reason. But they're starting to grow and understand, I think, a little bit more of their roles and what we need out of them. But once that game tips up, it's got to be their focus and their execution. I think once they get to that point and start trusting each other and believing in each other a little bit more, I think it'll start taking off for us. And we're coming up on a stretch here where I think we've only had 6 home games this whole year. I mean, that's crazy. Normally, just even in the non-conference, we could schedule 6 home games, and so with a team with only 1 senior and a group that struggled to fight to get wins last year, a lot of it's just a mental confidence level type stuff, and it's a psychology to it, and so I'm glad that we're able to come back home after this weekend. But I want to get this weekend taken care of and done, and at least have 5 home games, so at least our guys can be in their own beds, our fans can be here. And our students, and hopefully we can start getting on a roll.
All right, we'll look forward to that, and good luck this weekend.
I appreciate it.
Joey James and Ahmad Newsome here on Golden Bear Insider as, again, Concordia gets ready for those games in North Dakota this coming weekend, the stretch of home games after that. And, of course, you can check out the full schedule right here at cspbears.com. So we'll have more from both basketball teams next month, definitely on the show. We'll be getting into a little bit of a track and field preview here now as well with head coach Sam Johnson and also Erika Shady, senior, will be here as well. And they are joining us now as the track team had the one meet earlier back in December and now getting back at it this weekend. So Sam and Erika here now, and we thank you for joining us here today.
Thanks, Dan.
And Sam, for you, I guess not a lot of practices, I'm sure, since they came back from the holiday break. But in general, you pretty happy with the way the team has come back from that little bit of time off?
Yeah, for some it's been a little more time off than others, certainly. When we go home for break, it's always the question of, what are people doing? What do you have access to from a facility standpoint? Most people go home and they can't get on a track necessarily, so we try to stay in the weight room. If the weather is pleasant enough, maybe get outside and do some running, but it really is a different kind of atmosphere when we come back because it's maybe the first time they've seen a track in 2-3 weeks. So
you've been growing this program over the past few years, and just as you look ahead into this year, what do you kind of see as some of the biggest strengths of the team?
When I look at the overall makeup of this team, I'm reminded of a team that we had a few years ago, dominated by some really high-level people at the ends of their careers, not just from performance standpoints, but from a leadership quality standpoint. So we have a good balance of returners that have been there, done it, and aren't satisfied with where things are at, bolstered by a large young group that needs some seasoning, but has some real talent that can kind of sustain and keep the program afloat as long as we develop them properly over the next few years.
Do you find when you kind of have that mixture, the upperclassmen, the underclassmen, that they sort of push each other?
Yeah, in some ways, but there's always the trial by fire where we need upperclassmen to take the younger ones underneath the wings. Because no matter how talented a young individual is in practice, if we haven't seen him on the track in a competition yet, it could be a completely different story. And that's where the synergy, I guess, that we've kind of been working towards and hopefully we'll reap the benefits from as we get into the competition season.
I mentioned you did have the one meet back in December before the break. Did anything kind of surprise you about the results of that first meet?
Nothing super surprising. It was a very partial squad. We didn't compete any of the cross-country distance folks because they were just coming off of their season. It was a quick turnaround. They weren't ready to get back into competition mode yet. So healthy throwers, sprinters, and jumpers got out there and had to keep some people, I guess, for a lack of a better analogy, in the garage for the weekend, just as precautionary things. But some people that stand out were John Johnson, had a great long jump in 60-meter competition. And then our freshman sprinter from Florida, Tony Canfall, she kind of lit it up in the 60, and then she came back in an event that I thought was maybe not going to be as strong for her, the 200, and she surprised me. So very happy there.
And Erika, for you, you've competed in a pretty good variety of events in your time here, sprinting, middle distance, did the pole vaulting as well. What's kind of your schedule of events expected to be this year? Any changes to compared to what you've done in the past?
I think I'm pretty much going to be doing the same events that I've been doing, 260 pole vault, and then I'm actually trying long jump this year as well, so that's a little different for me, but I'm excited to get out there and try out some new things and then get back on the track on the old things too.
And for that first meet coming back, certainly you have to work your way back into the routine, but can it be beneficial too in that you've had some of that time off, feel maybe a little more fresh than you do at other points in the season?
Yeah, I think it definitely will. I struggled with a foot injury over preseason, and I wasn't able to compete in that first meet. But I think having the winter break and having that time off, I mean, it kind of came at couldn't have come at more of a perfect time, really, because I had that time off. So having that time to kind of heal and then slowly work my way back into things, I think it's definitely beneficial for me, and I'll be able to come out strong in these few meets.
Starting your senior season here, what are some of your goals that stand out, both for you individually and for the team as well?
Individually, I just like to be able to compete at a high level at our conference meet and do well at the newer events like long jump and try out. So for our team, I mean, I hopefully we placed 6th, I think, indoor last year as a women's team, and I mean that came out of nowhere. We really competed at a high level at that meet, and I hope that we continue to compete at that high level and place higher even this year as well.
In talking with different members of the team over the past couple of years, a lot of talk about trying to build a culture with this team and a culture of success. How would you describe what that Concordia culture is?
Actually this year we started kind of little leadership groups where we're split up into smaller groups within the team, just trying to really build that culture and closeness that we have had over these past few years, but even more so this year. But I think we come in as a family, and we care about each other, and we always want everybody to do well. And we compete against each other, yes, but we're always excited no matter who beats us, or if somebody gets a PR, we're always excited about that as well.
And same for you, you don't maybe hear about this as much in track as some other sports, but you are going to be seeing quite a few conference teams right away this weekend and this first meet coming back. Is it important to kind of set an early tone, make an early statement against some of those teams you're going to be seeing quite a bit down the road?
Personally, programmatically, I don't know. This weekend, I think a lot of schools are going to be coming off the break. Our group worked extremely hard this week in practice, so we're going to roll in there. Probably not as fresh as we should be, so I'm not looking to make a statement this week. But certainly we're going to use the meet as an opportunity to go see some outside competition and know that these teams that we're seeing this weekend are the people that we are going to see at the end of the season. So it is important. We talk a lot about knowing the sport, knowing your events, knowing your competition, and this is track and field 101 this weekend in the NSIC conference for a lot of the freshman athletes that have not competed yet. So I think that to kind of sum it up, we're going out there to compete at the highest level that we can this weekend, knowing that training has been dense and we're not going to be too fresh, if that makes sense.
And, the full schedule, of course, available on the website, but quite a few meets that you have coming up here over the next couple of months. You have a conference, obviously, toward the end of February for the indoor season. Are there any meets in particular that you can look at that will be a pretty good gauge for where the team is at heading into that conference meet?
A couple weeks from now, at the end of January, we're back in Mankato. We tend to frequent that facility quite a bit. It is where our conference championships are, again, this indoor season. So at the end of this month, we'll be nearing one of the ends of our bigger training cycles. So in that regard, there's going to be a lot of conference schools at that meet again. And at the same time, we'll be in a place where a little more fresh and ready to get after it at a higher level even at that meet than maybe we were at this meet. So that might be one to keep an eye on. And really any meet through the peaking season in February is fair game. I mean, we see people pop in and have big meets, big performances kind of at any point in that end part of the season. So.
All right, well, Sam and Erika, good luck this season, and thank you for being here today.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Sam Johnson and Erika Shady here on Golden Bear Insider as we wrap up this month's edition of the show. Again, a little bit shorter one here this month with not as many sports in action, but we'll be back toward the early part of February, have basketball and track back again. Imagine we'll welcome in some of the spring sports as well as they start to get ready to begin things in the month of February. But do want to thank you for watching here today. Thank all of our guests again, Anna Schmitt and Amanda Johnson from the women's basketball team, Joey James, Ahmad Newsome from the men's side, and of course Sam Johnson and Erika Shady here from track and field. So until next time, this is Dan Flanagan. Thank you so much for watching Golden Bear Insider.